Whether you're a blogger or a video producer, visuals and information and statistical details can add a huge amount of impact and significance to your creative work. Today we're going to have a look at Google Trends. Google Trends is a tool which allows you to analyze the popularity of different search keywords, and it allows you to analyze it both in geographically specific ways and comparatively across a range of different keywords. And it can provide some very interesting insights. We're going to have a quick look at Google Trends, and we're also going to have a look at how to get that information out of Google Trends as a nice snapshot and into the work that you're doing. As a comparison, let's use the concept of hiking, camping, and skiing. We want to understand which one is most popular, where are they most popular, and how are they popular throughout the year in terms of relatively to each other. So what we'll do is we'll go to trends.google.com and we'll type in our first word here, hiking. Now you can see by default it is going to select the United States, even though I'm currently not in the United States, and it has selected the past 12 months. So let's play with this a bit. We want to extend this out, let's say the past 5 years. And this gives us a longer view, and we notice something very interesting right away. Now, since this is targeted into the United States and we're talking about hiking, we can see that there's this undulating pattern where people seem much more interested in hiking in the middle of the summer in the northern hemisphere and much less interested in hiking in the winter, December and January. Well, that seems pretty obvious. Well, let's have a look at a comparable word which is used in the UK, trekking. And in New Zealand, I'm going to add tramping. We just want to have a look. Now, we still got the US selected here, and we can see that hiking, without any doubt, is the most popular term used in that category. Let's change our location and see what happens. So if we go to United Kingdom, and you can see with this very nice color coding, hiking is still at the top. And very interestingly, we have a bit less of that undulated pattern. We still have it, and this is fantastically interesting because during COVID, hiking became a lot less interesting. So you get to see some very interesting things in terms of impacts. I'm sure historians for years to come are going to be making interesting sense of this kind of data. But hiking has still become the most popular term in the UK. Let's actually extend this out as far as we can go. So it's going to be 2004 to present. We're still looking just at the UK, and look at that. You can see here that the word trekking used to be as popular or more popular than the word hiking, but over time began to differentiate, and Brits adopted the more Americanized version of the term hiking, and it became much more popular in their web searches. Very interesting. Let's have a look worldwide, just to see what this comparison looks like. And you can see an incredible cyclical pattern there, even all the way back to 2004. And worldwide, hiking is still #1. Let's have a look at somewhere very specific, New Zealand, which is where I am currently, and see how things look. Now, this is interesting. The word tramping has by far exceeded the word hiking in terms of popularity for most of this timeline. However, since about the middle of 2015 and within the last 5 years, there has been a switch. I find things like this very, very interesting. Whatever your article or your video is about, you can find all sorts of fantastic comparative data that allows you to illustrate your point and also to discover new things. Just for kicks, let's add skiing. And we can see some very interesting things straight away, but we're going to go back out to, let's go back to the United States, because we want a place with a solid seasonal climate. And you see some real magic in this kind of situation. You see skiing is popular in the winter and not popular at all in the summer, as you would imagine. whereas hiking is popular year-round, but definitely shows its typical undulating pattern very directly tied to the summer-winter cycle. The words trekking and tramping aren't even on the radar, which is simply an intriguing point here. You can also see that skiing used to be more popular in general than it is, which could probably be compared to weather patterns and snowfall history to see which winters was skiing exceptionally good, and has, for example, reports of global warming affected that? Why has hiking become more popular in recent years? More questions to be answered, more interesting things to observe. So let's say that you found a data set that you really like and you want to share this with your audience, you want to put it into your blog or into your video content. How do you do that? Now, it's definitely possible to take a screenshot just of what I'm seeing here, but it's not particularly well assembled. I've got my selection points are at the top here, and I've got this navigation selector, this filtering controls in the middle of the screen. If I take a screenshot of this, I'm either going to need to do a bunch of Photoshop work to make it look nice, or I'm just going to have to suffer with a bit of this mucky stuff in the middle. But there is a better way. Let's have a look very quickly before we do that at the share feature to see what's available. So share allows you to share this out to social media, but it does not allow you to export a nicely prepared image. Likewise, if I go to download, I can get the raw data set as a CSV file, which could be very handy, but now I'm going to be doing work in something like Excel in order to recreate this entire graphical display. If you want an extreme level of control, that's definitely the way to go, but we're looking for the simplest route possible. Let's try our third option here, which is the embed feature. And when I embed, I get a nice little combined view. It indicates exactly what I'm looking at here, interest over time. It shows a very nice clean key. That navigation is all gone. It's even got the Google Trend branding on it. I've got my chart looking good. I've even got a little bar chart here to the left to show them their comparison. And I can see where and when my search specifies. All of this is very valuable, but perhaps this image size isn't exactly what I want. I may want it wider, I want to see it stretched out, and I can't quite screenshot the whole thing at once. I can't get the top and the bottom in at the same time. What we can do is use this HTML embed code, which is generating this content, and create our own screenshot from that. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go to another web tool. The one I'm going to use right now is called Try It Editor version 3.6, which is part of the W3 Schools toolset. And what it allows you to do is to create a very simple HTML web page and simply run it on the spot. So I don't have to do any actual programming. If you have any familiarity at all with HTML, you know that this is an HTML document and your content area is in between these body tags, this opening body tag and this closing body tag. So I'm simply going to paste my content right in the middle there over that center piece, and I'm going to click run. And let's see what we get. There's our beautiful little graph. And you notice it's wider. I can grab this center bar and I can adjust how wide I want it to be. I can make it quite a bit wider, or I can make it quite a bit narrower. Let's go ahead and choose this as our target size. This will flow nicely in a blog. Step 3 is going to be capturing that as an image, and the easiest way to do this is to use a screenshot tool. The one that I prefer to use is a very inexpensive one called PicPic. PicPic is a great tool. It's got lots and lots of capabilities. It's very low cost. It is a workhorse of a little tool that I keep running in my tray all the time. You could see it down here in the bottom right. I click PicPic. I'm going to do a screen capture of a specific area. So I want a region. So I select my region. See, I've got this little zoomer. I'm going to use the arrow keys to refine exactly where I want the top left corner to start, all the way down to this bottom right corner. I'm using the arrow keys again to do that final pixel navigation. And I now have a beautiful little screenshot. I can save straight to my hard drive. I highly recommend that for this type of artwork you save it as a PNG, which will be the default type, and at that point I can immediately begin using it, import it into my blog, import it into my video assets, and begin my creative work. I hope this has been helpful. This type of process is one of my favorite things to master because it opens up an entirely new range of possibilities, an entirely new range of content sources that are very, very customizable. Whereas most people are pulling charts and graphs that already exist on the internet, you can much more easily find unique things and hone in on them if you have the ability to use those tools directly yourself. Good luck.